All around the world, amateur treasure hunters and looters are ransacking archaeological sites, both those that have been discovered and surveyed professionally, and those which haven't. These individuals are then selling the artifacts for personal profit, erasing historical context and even cultural identities of whole groups and civilizations. This black market business is estimated to make sums in the billions for those who participate, but what's the cost for others? Theft of antiquities and artifacts through looting and black market dealing is illegal in most countries of the world, and it contributes to the loss of cultural identity and history of peoples worldwide. According to the College of Arts and Sciences at Kent State University, archaeology is a discipline of anthropology which focuses on learning about the people who lived before us in a similar vein with history. The field relies on materials which were left behind by predecessors to make determinations about their lives and develop hypotheses about the details of the past. But the process is pretty complicated. Archaeologists are lucky if they find anything at all. The years take their toll on the site, and items that were left will oftentimes be few and far between, even if archaeologists are the first on the scene and the first to excavate. The scarcity of quality artifacts is further exacerbated by looting and theft.
Archaeological theft is actually an increasingly common problem worldwide. In the past 10 years, the issues have been increasing globally, as reliable jobs are harder and harder to come by, and black market antiquities and art are always easy moneymakers.
One major example of this is Mr. Earl Shumway, who's been in and out of prison over the years for stealing artifacts from Native American burial sites. Tribes pushed the state of Utah into investigating and prosecuting such crimes because they're fed up with these rooting around in their ancestors' graves, and local authorities likened the acts to looting the National Archives. Shumway was reportedly making enough money from this operation that he didn't need to hold a real job. His entire living came from grave robbing and looting. People like him have commented that they don't feel as though they're stealing. They think that either artifacts are either public property, or that there's so many of them, a few won't be missed. But it's important to remember that it is a crime, and perpetrators are not just committing one. They're helping to remove any and all evidence that a group existed at all. It's like erasing history. In 2004, over 600 artifacts which had been stolen in the 18th century were returned to the Egyptian government at their request. A conference was held earlier that year to discuss stolen artifacts, and, as was said there, monuments such as the Rosetta Stone at the British Museum have been plundered and should be handed back. From the BBC. Near and around China's Three Gorges Dam construction, funding for archaeology has been incredibly diminished. The initial budget of nearly 2 billion yuan, which is about 250 million American dollars, for excavation and preservation was reduced to 300 million yuan, which is only 37.5 million American dollars. This has led to an increase in looting and theft in the area, including robbers who have been known to carry high-frequency radios, cell phones, and prospecting equipment. The site of Dazhou in Sichuan province has been repeatedly robbed in the past decades. This site contains many Buddhist tombs dating from between the 9th and 14th centuries. In May of 2008, 11 ceremonial seals, of the kind formerly used as sealed letters, were returned to the Iraqi Antiquities Department. The seals have been taken from a museum following the invasion of Iraq in 2003. It's plain to see that in areas of turmoil, be it financial, political, or military, are prone to looting. But perhaps the most damning evidence of looting is the fact that when these artifacts disappear into private collections, professionals have no way to research and study them.
Issues arising from looting are pretty plain, from the point of view of academia at least. If we don't have the items from which we draw our conclusions, we can't draw conclusions.
Oddly, looting can sometimes be helpful. One researcher, Lisa Lucero of New Mexico State University, said she was glad to let some of the looters at her Mayan sites in Belize do their work while she did hers. The Belize government doesn't want too many excavations at the ceremonial sites at Yalbak, so I only have looters' trenches. and I'd rather stick with that than destroy more temples. Lucero was quoted as saying at a conference at the Smithsonian in 2007. So what do museums and universities do to combat these problems? First, they have to admit that it's a huge, huge, huge problem. Art and antiquities theft is a major crime industry. It is ranked third in the hierarchy behind narcotics and weapons trafficking. Italy alone suffers 20,000 art thefts a year, despite a 300-strong dedicated police art theft unit, says Anthony Roman, the CEO of Roman & Associates, a global insurance and corporate investigation, risk management, and security consulting firm. Second, more attention needs to be paid to the problem itself. With most, if not all nations financially strapped, less and less money is available to be poured into art and antiquity theft investigation. And third, greater awareness needs to be brought to the public. If everyone everywhere knows exactly what can happen when they commit the actions they commit, this whole problem can be solved. Dun, 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 dun.